Hello and welcome to another episode of the Sidecar Spin. Today I am here with Crash.
Yo, we are back with the Tash and Crash show.
And today we're going to be chatting about the most recent 24-hour trial.
That is correct. 2026 event. Bit of a different one for a change.
Yeah, so Crash rolled up in the not prepped class.
The no prep class. Yeah, so we're a little bit underprepared, but knowingly underprepared. But there's a couple of us in that class this year, so it made for a bit of interesting going.
Yeah, and I jumped on with Jason Whitfield again at sort of a bit of a last minute gig again.
On a new bike though,
yes.
Different bike.
Yes, on a new bike, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah. So the old EMLs got swept to the side a little bit.
Yep. So I think after Jason's ridden the other modern that he's been riding, he decided that he wanted to upgrade a bit. So
yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Too right.
Yep.
So she's done a few rounds, that old EML, so it's certainly played its part in the industry.
Yeah.
She's gone through quite a few riders and introduced a lot of people into it. So it's done a very good job, that old girl.
Well, it has actually already been sold off to someone else, so we
There you go.
might see it out there.
There you go. It's been to Finkenbach twice.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So yeah, she's done it. She's
the old squeaker.
Yeah, it always was. Always was.
So you and Stiff got out there. Was it 30 years or something since you first won?
It's 30 years since we first entered. So 96.
Okay. Yeah.
We first entered. I was 17 years old, and he was just 18 years old. So we were a couple of young'uns on a little XT 250 home-built sidecar that Zach Smith's dad actually built back in the day, and then we modified it and tweaked it all up, modernised it a bit. But as much as you can modernise a 250, 20 horsepower bike, if we're lucky, on a downhill. But so I didn't really have expectations. The initial plan this year was Alan Davies and James Ferguson to be coming back over to ride, but that got delayed a year. Back in November, they decided to delay it a year, and so therefore the bike became available. I was going to loan the bike to them otherwise, but the bike needs a tidy up, need to freshen up, which was going to happen, and for them. But now that they weren't, I went, well, I don't want to pump too much into it and then have to redo it a second time round at the end of this season. So we went to the no prep theory of ride minimal, wear it out minimal, and come in and see how things go. And yeah, as it turns out, as we'll get to, it turned out pretty good in consideration. So I was pretty happy with that.
And you guys didn't even do any road trials leading up to it, did you?
No, me and Stiff haven't been on the bike since the 24 last year.
Yeah.
So, and I've ridden sort of minimal since, really. A bit of the motocross there late last year and a couple earlier this year that were a bit of a fizzer in some sense for me. But but first time with Stiff back on for 12 months. So, but you'd think after 30 years we'd be able to work it out pretty quickly, wouldn't you? So
yeah, I noticed Stiff was throwing the 30-year gang signs when you pulled up to the finish line.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Exactly. That's right. So, yeah, but I left it up to him, and he rang me on the day that the entries open and said, well, what do you think, Crash? And I said, look, I'm not fussed. If we don't ride, we don't ride. I'm not too worried. And he goes, well, it's 30 years since we first did it, so we better give it another crack. So, so that's how that came about.
No, that's awesome. That's so good. I can't believe it. 30 years, that's a long time.
Yeah, so we haven't ridden all 30 of them.
Yeah.
Well, I've ridden 19 of them now, and 16 of those have been with Stiff. So,
Yeah, wow.
Thus far we've kept our pretty good record. I haven't finished anything lower than fourth, so I'm pretty happy with that. So,
wow.
Only once off the podium. Every other time's been on the podium, so I've been pretty chuffed with that, been very blessed with that sort of outcome.
So you guys were what, third
in the end?
Year?
Yep, that's right. But yeah, look, we'll get to some of those, I guess, as we go. There's some good results out there and some impressive. I'll call them impressive DNFs at this point in time. But we'll get to them as we go, I guess. So
yeah. So do you want to get stuck into a bit of a rundown of what happened? So,
yeah, well,
as
you know, at the start there, it was looking a bit grey and gloomy, and if I recall, I think
it was raining when we left.
Yeah, that's right. The half an hour beforehand, which I prayed for. I thought, well, I haven't got fitness on my side this year, so the more it rains, the more level the playing field's going to be for me. And since racing the Welsh for a few years now, you've sort of a bit of a different approach and mindset to moisture. It's you don't get as concerned about it, I guess. But yeah, the heavens opened up there half an hour beforehand and started nicely raining, which pleased me greatly. And
Speak for yourself.
oh, mate, bring it
I was
on!
like, no
Yeah.
way! I don't want to be wet at the start of the
And I'm
24.
sitting there going, more, more, more. So, but yeah, it obviously went it up. It was a very prime track even during the week leading up. We always knew it was going to be great conditions. We've had a excellent start to the season with rain and stuff. It's been a good winter this year. The farmers are certainly very happy, and it's certainly the greenest we've seen the 24-hour for quite some time. And yeah, it's based out of Kapunda, so it was always going to be the likely to be the muddier track under wet conditions, which it certainly proved to be. So the moment we got out there from lap one, you certainly knew that it was going to be fun skating around. There's certainly traction issues, that's for sure, on plenty of grass and slimy clay. So yeah, right from word go, everyone knew that it wasn't going to be the same paced race as what we've experienced the last few years, but we nosed our way on through and adapted accordingly. But Sean Buckley obviously set a cracking pace to start with. He was certainly making his intentions known from the word go. Him and Wally have certainly been a good race this year. We figured we were in the best watching position. I'd chatted to Hutchies leading up to the event, and I'm actually a little bit upset with myself because had actually intended on going to the shop the day before and buying a bag of popcorn to put in my pocket. And the intention was to rock up at the first control and open up a bag of popcorn and sit back and watch with Hutchies to watch the show for 24 hours. It was going to be like our Netflix movie in front of us. So when you got the likes of Brad and Brad were leading the event out, obviously as part of their sentence, as I call it, their sentence from last year, winning the event. You get seeded as the first bike, and then followed by Dan Plowman, who's obviously set a cracking pace to start with this season, winning the first two and fighting a very close second in the next two events for the year. So he's certainly been desperate to win the 24 for a number of years now.
Is that how they do the order?
The draw?
Yeah.
No, so the draw is done that the winning sidecar leads out.
Yeah.
And in regards to the solos, if we bothered talking about them, is the first three expert solos lead out the expert class, right? So they just seed them. The first sidecar, the first one sidecar, and the first three solos.
Okay.
But solos are just a support class. So we don't worry about it. Like Mark Lowner says, it's a 24-hour sidecar race with solo support class.
So they just put whatever order, whoever they think they'll just put behind that first one?
From there, it's done in some sort of draw format. I've never been to it in recent years, but I think it pretty much follows along the lines of how the entries flow in in a roundabout's way. So, and then obviously in their classes, according to their classes. Cool. So, but yeah, it was. I'd spoken to Hutchies, and we certainly knew we were going to be in for a good show for 24 hours with those three guys up the front, which were some pretty obvious guys to lay your money on. If you're going to put a trifecta down, you would have laid it on those three in some sort of pattern. But yeah, as it turned out, things changed around a bit during the event.
Yeah.
So first lap, obviously, Wally and Buckley got off to a cracking start and set a fantastic pace, and Dan and Hunt's, like Plowie and Hunt's behind were holding probably more a consistent, a bit more of a longer term view pace. So yeah, there's a couple of different approaches there. And then there was us sitting back in the No Prep Club just going, right, what sort of pace is going to get us to the end? Because I certainly can't do what I used to do. It just wasn't going to happen.
Well, that's a good spot to be able to sort of see those guys at the front battling and then have a bit of a squiz of the ones coming up behind as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If you're around that sort of bike 5-6 mark, is spot on.
Yeah.
So we were bike 4 and Hutchie's bike 5. Well, that was a good place to be.
Yeah.
So, and then from there, I think Beckman, from memory, was about number 6, and yeah, sort of petered back there. But I think in the end, I think we had about, was it 11 or 12 expert sidecars. That's a good field of what was a total of, was it 30 or
32?
31, I think.
Yeah.
31 sidecars, I think, that started. So yeah, another good turnout. Yeah, by the end of it, half of those bikes were back on the trailer before finish time. It
Yeah,
was
32.
certainly a bit of a oh yep, correct. So a bit of a struggle to keep alive for the night under those conditions.
Yeah. So you guys got through lap 1 all right?
Lap 1, yeah, was pretty good. We found the marking quite well. Found the sections very enjoyable. A good mixture of sections, from flowing hills to tight scrubland to very greasy, slippery sort of gullies or valleys, if you want to call it. So yeah, a very good mixture. I think the course, we were pretty impressed with the course when we were designing it back at the start of the year, when committee were chipping in to design it. So we were pretty happy with it. But as it turned out, during the event, some of the challenges wouldn't be in the paddocks; it'd actually be out on the roads. But
Yeah.
first lap, it was sort of steady rain for a lot of the first lap. I think it only really cleared up towards the end of the lap, from memory. Most of the first lap was
Yeah.
fairly
It was pretty
steady
wet.
showers. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that makes it a bit interesting.
So you didn't have any dramas on that first lap?
First lap, late in the first lap, there was one big river crossing that caught a few people out, including ourselves, where we drowned the bike a couple of times going through it. So we got a bit wet, bit of moisture in the engine, which made the engine then sort of run pretty rough for the rest of that. Halfway through that last stage, which lost us a bit over a minute. Hutchie's passed us. We came in about 15, 20 seconds behind them. But yeah, then the bike cleared out a bit down the road, and we got to the fuel dump after that at the end of the lap, and we changed the air filter and just sprayed out all the electrical connectors, and yeah, nothing faltered from then on. So water ingestion and a few. I think that was the undoing of Nathan Zagi and Sean Blenkind. Certainly came unstuck there. A few people got caught out in that water, but I know that was the undoing of them. I'm not sure who else, but yeah, there was a few that had a few struggles through that water.
Yeah.
That water crossing is fairly long, I think.
Yeah.
Was the biggest problem?
Yeah.
Was it was hard to get through before some sort of wave would bowl into your sidecar and fill everything up. But no, really, really good conditions otherwise. But yeah, we had a great run other than that right at the end of the first lap.
Yep.
So yeah, for putting in minimal effort on the bike, it came round pretty well. So I felt pretty good at the end of the first lap.
Yep.
Physically, so which was good. And how did your first lap go?
Like you said, started off with the rain. I was sort of like, no way, I don't want to be wet, like from the start of the race. So it was pretty chilly. That first section, before it, I usually put my phone in my Camelback because I will get it out if there's a big break and sort of do some filming and stuff like that. And it's also got like Live 360 on there, so like mum and hubby and that can sort of see where we are, so they can track where we are. But of course, I have a different Camelback because my other one got ripped when I got ripped off by a tree at one of the road trials last year. So I bought a new one, but it's a lot smaller, and when you've got it really full of water, it's really hard to shove the phone in. So I actually put it in my jacket pocket, which I never do. And I was riding along and I could feel the grab rail like rubbing on the jacket pocket, and I reckon it's pulled the zip open and the phone has come out in the first section, and I didn't realise. And then when we got to the next section, Bruce goes, did you lose a phone? I was like, oh my God, yes. And then I'm like on Bruce's phone trying to ring my husband, like, can you get my phone? And like they couldn't hear me because there was no service, and all they could hear was first section, phone, something. And then I like hung up because we had to go. and I'm just assuming that they knew that they'd go get it. Well, they didn't. And it got run over by like 100 and whatever bikes, how many bikes were in the race. And it actually was in the rut. So it was run over by every single bike.
Oh, mate.
So that was pretty shit. So it did.
But it was found?
Yeah. This is the phone.
Oh, that is the phone. I'm looking at it here.
Yeah.
Wow.
It got fixed. I'm
Okay.
very surprised because the front was smashed, the back was smashed. It was just mangled, and it was like a big ball of mud when they picked it up. There was mud in everything.
Mate.
I took it to the phone shop, and it was still inside was still working, but the outside was just smashed.
So what
pieces.
brand of phone is it?
It's a Samsung Ultra.
Right. So there we go, people. For all you Apple lovers out there, I keep telling them, like, Android's the way to go.
Yeah,
there we
well,
go.
the
There's
phone-
proof in the pudding, my friends.
Yep, it was still fully functioning, so
Right.
they changed everything on it. It cost me $660 to get fixed, but I didn't
Yeah, mate.
lose any of my stuff on there, which was
That's
the main
right.
thing because it had so much crap on there.
I like how you mentioned stuff.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Let no secrets out
Yeah,
here.
so that was a bit shit. So I was a bit stressed out about that after the first section. But yeah, and then I think the second section, we got stuck in a friggin' bog hole straight away. Like, it was only like a little thing. Didn't look as deep as what it was where we went. And I think Jason just followed the line where the other bikes had gone, but it was really deep and we just like straight into
Was that like
it.
a little
Yeah, a
V-dip
little
crossing?
dip thing.
Yeah.
We got stuck in it, and I had to get off and push. And then I was like, "Oh my god, now my boots are
Yeah,
squishy
because
already."
there was water like flowing through it. I reckon.
Yeah. On the left side, it was like more rockier and sort of
Correct,
solid,
yep.
but we drove into the muddy hole
Oh,
bit,
Jason, you scallywag.
and then it was like, "Oh no, now our boots are like full of mud, and we're only on the second section." So that was a bit full on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think after that was all right. Like we were both saying how good the marking was. We were like, that was actually really fun. Like, they were really cool, flowy sections. It wasn't anything too crazy or like hectic. It was just slippery because of the mud. So like we were sort of sliding wide on corners, and the handlebars were clipping trees and things like that, which was a bit
Well, you're
hectic.
not alone there. Everyone was having that. Yeah. We were seeing bark chipped off of them. We were bike 4. So yeah.
Yeah. And then then the bike was like spluttering and doing weird stuff, and we discovered that the air mixture screw had come out. Yeah, so that had come right out and was just sitting there. Like, we're lucky we didn't lose it.
Yeah.
And then sort of we put that back in, but I don't know if that sort of had something to do with the bike was running really weird. Like, it was just something wasn't right. And I don't know whether it was wasn't where it was meant to be. Or,
well, there is a little O-ring and stuff on that normally to seal it. So if that had fallen out in the process, which it could have.
Well, it was still sort of hanging where it was meant to be, but it was like right down, like it was out. But it wasn't out of the hole, I don't think.
Yeah,
so.
but there's a tiny little O-ring washer that's normally in there to help seal it. So if that had fallen out, which it could have possibly fallen through the gap then, then it wouldn't be sealing properly off from the air. So that might have a bit to do with it. It
was doing weird stuff, and it was like backfiring a lot.
Like it's...
Yeah, so that was sort of
stuffing
a bit of
up the fuel mixtures.
Yeah, something wasn't right there, so it was a bit weird. And then...
ironically, was it Clare Road Trial that... Sam Wegner and Henry Grace had the same thing happen.
Yeah.
That screw fell out.
Yeah, so it was coming loose. Like, it kept coming loose. I don't know what was wrong with it. But...
The one on my motocross bike, they've put, being that it's an old girl with a carby tee, is that's got a small cable tie on there that stops it from unscrewing itself. Like it acts like a little flap that stops it from turning itself out. So,
maybe that might be something that you might be able to try.
There's little tricks.
Yeah, but because it was a new bike too, and like Jason had only sort of ridden it like one time around the paddock or something.
Yeah,
like we didn't really know all the bits and pieces of the tricks and stuff for the bike. It was just sort of like, let's just ride it and see how we go.
Yeah, which does put a bit of risk into that event going in with a brand new bike. So that's why Christie's sort of backed down a bit this year and taken it steady on the new bike to not get out there.
Know,
give it a bit of time and some 6 hours to fine tune them.
Yeah. So that we got through a few sections, all right, and then we got to that one where the vineyards are.
Yeah, so
just before
that is
funny
section 7.
That little bit with all those weird bumps and off cambers that go through there. And we sort of came through there, and I thought we were going high, and then I don't know, we hit a bit of a bump, and then we ended up going down in the hole.
There's a big hole there.
Yeah, and I actually fell off and landed straight on the big friggin' bunch of rocks that were in the middle, straight onto my hip. It was like, oh, shit.
Well, you've just reminded me to make a confession there too.
You fell in there, did you?
We did exactly the same. I know that you can stay high. We've traditionally stayed high. And I think I made the mistake of just coming into it too steady and too slow.
Yeah, and I think that's what happened to us.
And the front wheel, just as I was about to set the front wheel like to the left-hand side of the rock to stay chair high and go around the top side, the front wheel just skipped offline and it caught the moss on the rock and just slid us straight down into that hole. And I rode it the whole way.
Yeah.
And we were sitting like horizontal with the handlebar in the ground, and Stiff was literally sitting on the sidecar wheel.
Yeah.
And we were still committed to saving it.
Yeah.
I don't know what we were going to save because we were stationary and weren't moving. But we rode it till we couldn't. And then, but we got going again.
Was that on the first lap as well?
That was on the first lap. And the crowd let us know. Don't worry about that.
Oh, yeah. People were like,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, perfect place to make a mistake. That one.
I was like, oh no, and like landed on those rocks. It was like bang. But my mum took a video of it, and it looks fake. It looks like AI because I just sort of hit on it, do a spin, and then jump back up onto the sidecar like nothing even happened. And everyone's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was a bit painful. And then we got through that one, and then we got to that friggin' giant hill, and there was.
That was after the next field dump then.
Yeah, there was a massive hill.
Yeah, that was in section 10. Yep.
Yeah, one of those. And then, we ended up stuck on that because Lacey and Ethan, we came across them a couple of times. They were having trouble. I think a few times they got stuck. They were stuck. They were sitting at the end of that water when we went through that big water. Because was that hill after the water?
No. No. Sorry, the water was after the uphill.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
Yeah. That was the very last section.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so they were stuck on the hill, and then we sort of came around and it was like, go, and then we sort of just lost momentum going up, and then we were stuck, and then we were off, and we're trying to get the bike, we couldn't go straight because the wheel was just spinning. So I was like, Jason, we'll try and cut across. We'll go that way and then we'll zigzag up the hill. We'll just push it that way and then try and zigzag to sort of cut across the ruts to get some traction. And then we sort of did. And then a few people came past us, and that's when we started losing time, I think, there.
Well,
and we were stuck there for ages.
I do believe there was one or two, at least one expert sidecar that didn't go so well up there as well. So I'm not going to name names, but there are guilty parties out there.
Yeah,
so
well, it was.
If you lost momentum, it was pretty much impossible to pick it back up without going back down and getting another run up.
Yeah. It was just slippery, and the rocks. I think
it was loose and slippery. I was about to say.
If it didn't have the rocks on it, I don't think it would have been as bad because that's what you were hitting, and it was sort of slowing you down and making you go a bit squirrely as well.
That's spot on. So when you hit the rocks and it skips your tire, then you lose that little bit of momentum. You come down then on the slippery, like on the slippery dirt then, and then you just can't get the momentum. You see your wheel spinning, or you're either wheel spinning on the mud or you're skipping on the rocks and losing momentum that way. So, it's a bit of a lose-lose situation without momentum. Momentum is the key on that stuff.
Yeah, well, we were dreading going around it again. We're like, oh, God, that's going to suck. But we didn't quite get there.
Yeah.
But, so we got up there and then we got to that water. Yep. And then we seen Lacey and Ethan. They were on the other side, just out of it. And we were like looking at them, we sort of stopped and we were like, oh no, like shit, where do we go? And then we're like, which side should we go? And they're just looking at us with their arms in the air like whatever, we don't know. And I'm pretty sure they actually pushed their bike through. I think they got off of it and pushed it through. Yeah.
Well, I don't think you would have got any wetter.
Well, probably to save the, I don't know, water sucking in. I don't know. But we sort of started going across and then it was gone. It was getting deeper and then it was going, do. And we're like, oh no. And then we sort of got out the other side, but that was so deep. It was like, oh shit, that actually is deeper than what we expected it to be.
I thought I'd go through that. I thought, I know it's a car track. So I thought, right, I'm going to position the bike in the middle, expecting it to have a bit of a higher crown to it there on the gravel. Nah.
Was it gravel or was it cement under there?
No, it's gravel.
Oh, it was gravel.
Yeah,
okay.
Yep. The river light there. So, it didn't help. My theory didn't work. And we drowned it a couple of times.
Yeah.
But you could hear the water going through, but so be it.
But yeah, we made it through, but the bike wasn't sounding too
Yeah.
flash when we got through the other side. We were like, oh my God, that's
After
shit.
my effort,
And then we were totally wet then.
after my effort at our Welsh 2-day trail ride last
Oh
year,
yeah, I saw that.
that little bit of water didn't really concern me. Yeah.
When you were in that big hole.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so we got through there and then.
So tell me, just pausing in there,
Yeah.
go back a section 11, quite greasy. You started off by an old train line, right? There's an old train line there. And,
I do remember a
and
train
there was a
line.
little bit of a neutral zone in the middle of
Oh,
section
yeah,
11.
yeah.
Right. So in that first half, before the neutral zone, there was a, not far into it, probably only half a minute into the section, there was a snotty little rock reef you had to go down, little.
Oh, yeah.
Did you go off the little cliff edge?
Is that the one where you go like off of a bit of a rock?
Yeah, that's right. Except I think
do you come down a hill and
you had to turn, and you sort of had to turn left, and yeah, that's right. So it turns out that I think Hunter got through first. Okay, Brad got through okay first, and then I think Plowie started the snowball effect of he overshot the left-hander coming down and went through the bunting, and he goes straight over a rock face and down this little miniature cliff.
No, we didn't go down there.
Okay,
no, we rolled it down.
The rest of us
part.
did. So, yeah, we're all packing parachutes next time. We get to the next control and everyone's going, holy shit, what happened there? And, yeah, it turned out we'd all gone off this little cliff face in different forms and such. And, yes, made some sort of mess of it to some degree, which kept all the times pretty even. But, yeah, it was pretty good banter trying to work out how everyone tackled it and survived.
I guess if one person goes off, their line sort of goes that way, and then other people think the track's going that way, and before you know it, if you're going that fast, you can't really stop.
Well, the problem is, like, I don't think any of us were really going all that fast, but because you were cresting down a hill, turning left, on fresh grass, thick fresh grass, it just slid, and we just no traction and gone.
Yeah, no, we didn't go off of that one.
And our mate Mitchell and Tracker wasn't there to play the game, so the front tyre just away it went, and you just had to go with it.
We did hit a fence though. I can't remember which section it was, but we did come down a hill to a control. There was a control at the bottom, and we came down the hill, and there was a gate open where you go through the gate, and we were like, we just headed straight for the gate, and we couldn't stop, and the brakes were on, and we just like, I'm thinking he's gonna swerve, and then we didn't, and we just went whack straight into it, just like smashed ourselves. I jarred my thumb. I was like, oh, my hand, like, and then all the guys, they were like, what the hell? No one's hit the gate yet. They've slid straight past us, but they've not smashed into that. We're just like, I was like, what the hell, Jason? He's like, the brakes were on. I don't know if we couldn't stop.
That might have been the end of that section with the snotty hill you're talking about. Yeah, that was really slippery.
Yeah, because you come down, and then there was control on the left hand side, and the sort of the gate was open just there. But we came like that and just straight into
I think that might have been section 10.
But yeah, that was a bit of a friggin' shit show that was.
But we both got through.
Yeah, and then we got to, I think it was the last section though. We did, we got bogged on the top of it, so we came up a bit of a hill, and there was a bit of a left turn, and then there was bunting up there, and it was like a real drop off on the side. We got bogged on the sandy sort of, it was like a chair high section on the edge of a real like steep hill, but we got bogged right at the top of it because we were going too slow, which was probably a blessing in disguise, because going around there would have been hectic if we were going, I don't know,
I can't picture
the pace
this
we were
one.
going, but
so that was after the water crossing?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the last section.
Okay.
I reckon it was like the second to last or the last section, and then we ended up bogged, and then I got off the sidecar, and I was like getting us out, and then Jason just goes to ride off, and because it was chair high, I wasn't on there, so the bike just tips over,
dodgy.
And him and the bike just roll down the fucking hill like full. And I'm like, Jason! And like, there was no spectators there, and they were just like, what the hell? And then he's like, oh, what the hell? Like, I was like, I wasn't even on the bike. Like, that was not going to end well.
Right.
And then, the handlebars were bent.
You know that's a passenger error.
Well, I was trying to get us unbogged.
Yeah, but you obviously weren't on there, which therefore makes it passenger error.
I didn't expect him to bloody just take off. And then, the handlebars were
Well,
bent.
assume makes an ass out of you and me. So that's what's happened.
The lights were bent, the handlebars were bent, the busters are hanging off.
And the pride was shattered.
Oh, everything. And it was just like, we were just like, this is fucked. Like, what the hell? We get to like the next, the end control, and they're just like, what have you been doing?
Translated for all the family members out there, that is, this is not very comfortable.
And we're just like, oh, well, I was just laughing. Like, it was just like, what can you do?
Yeah.
Like,
oh, that's right.
Like,
exactly.
we just went up, we've been on an adventure. It was that first
Enjoy
lap
the
was
moment.
a full-on adventure. So, but we made it back to Maine. So that was good. Yeah.
That's great.
And I was starving.
And then
I was so hungry. It was
quite
so
right.
good. It was like, I think being
Good food.
that cold as well and wet, I think your body burns more energy to try and keep warm, and it just makes you really hungry.
And then the meal room was like 500 degrees Celsius. It's like walking into the Sahara. They had the heaters cranked up.
I needed it because I was so wet. I had my mum, I gave my gloves to my mum out the front and was like, dry these on the thing for me so I can go and eat.
Every one of those little pedestal heaters was getting consumed with people holding gloves. So, and then lap 2. Now, if I remember correctly, did it rain again at the start of lap 2?
Yeah.
Or while we were having tea, I reckon.
Because we were like, hopefully it doesn't rain. If it doesn't rain again, the track will be really good.
And I reckon we're sitting in there, next thing you could hear it,
and you're like,
down it come again.
Man.
Yeah. Lap 2's, I think, when then a lot of the action happened for us then come lap 2. So for us then, ready, section 1 is when we, coming into the start of section 2 is when we noticed that Buckley and Wally had a little bit of a bingle in section 1. And so, Wally had done his nose in or something like that.
Oh, really?
Clipped a tree branch, which I think pushed his goggles down, the helmet down, pushed his goggles down into his nose, which long-term wise turned out that he'd broken his nose.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he's had that strapped up during the week. So that sort of was one of their, I guess, probably first little incidences where, just sort of misjudged things.
So did he do that in the second lap or the first lap?
Second lap.
Okay, because there was a few people out by the first lap.
Oh, yeah, when we rode in at the end of the first lap, the
amount
of solos that were coming in on trailers was ridiculous.
Yeah, and a few sidecars, like a couple of people only made it a couple of sections.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. So continued on and the lap did what it did. We took the approach, as I said before, of just finding a pace that I guess the body could maintain for the event, pray for rain and let nature take care of itself. And, I think already late in lap 1, Hutchies had started to have rear brake problems. Beckman then started to have rear brake problems. There's a few of these things already starting to evolve. Jared Beckman and Aiden had a crash already on the first lap. So it was already showing signs of, I guess, levelling the playing field.
Yeah, well, anyone's race then.
Yeah, when it's so slippery like that, like it's so unpredictable what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And for us, it was all about, let's not go, it's I've told everyone, it's a bit of the Mark Launer card type of thing. Let's just pull that consistency, try and create that consistency, make no errors, and let everyone else do the damage around us. That was our theory. And look, we went in with the expectation that if it doesn't work, we'll be down the field. If it does work, we've probably got a good chance of getting a reasonable outcome. And we could start to see signs of that happening on lap 2 when all these little niggly problems started to evolve. Benny and Bert were then having a few headlight dramas early in the piece that had been plaguing him for the season with a flicking headlight. So that was giving them a bit of grief. They'd had a little bit of grief on lap 1, actually, if I go back. They went into lap 1, so they've just built a 610 up through Brad Manuel after dusting their bike at Cainton. So they borrowed my bike for Robertstown, like the 610, so all of a sudden it became a 610 rebuild. So I'm to blame. But they'd been out for test riding the week before, and first section, clutch started slipping.
Oh,
but it was right on the test ride.
Yeah.
Clutch started slipping, and they got through the section, and they got to the start of section 2. By the time they'd finished on the road, the clutch was feeling fine. and it was never a problem for the rest of the event.
Oh,
It's just that
that's
very
random,
first section on lap 1.
Wow.
So they'd had that on lap 1. Their lights just started flickering on lap 2, which was causing them a bit of grief. So yeah, they were starting to have a couple of issues sort of popping up out of the equation. Obviously, Christy had a lot of issues on lap 1 with just a lot of niggly
I think
faults.
they crashed, didn't they? And then they did something.
What didn't they do?
Yeah.
Let's start with that list. They didn't have a clean lap. There we go. That's that list taken care of. Yeah, look, what didn't they have problems with? Didn't they have a problem with their kill switch or something as well?
Yeah, I can't remember, but
spark plug cap came loose.
something. I think it got hit by a rock or something happened. Yeah,
I don't know. And then the
But
clutch
they
was playing
were-
up. They're bleeding the clutch at the start of every section and topping it up. And
they were overtaking us, then we'd overtake them, then they would overtake us. They were doing the Henry and Sam version.
Yes. Yeah. So they'd obviously had plenty of dramas. And so we could see this all evolving around us. And we thought, no worries. Well, let's go into the dark. I've got my new eyes nowadays. So I've had the laser surgery. So I don't need to, God bless, I didn't have to wear glasses.
Yeah. Was it heaps better?
Oh, tons better.
Yeah.
Tons better.
Yeah.
Yeah, we noticed, we actually mentioned at the end, we did not have one left-hand, right-hand missed call this year.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm blaming the cross eyes from the last few years for that now. But yeah, so we could see this evolving, but obviously the guys in front of us, aside from Wally and Buckley having their little carnage, the guys in front of us were still on it. And we know that Dan and Brad both love the night, so we weren't going to try and compete with them in the darkness because they love that stuff. They do very well at it, and we knew they would. So yeah, we just sat back and started watching the show, and yeah, then everything was going well for everyone. We got, after the fuel dump, we got to start a section 6, and that's when Sean Buckley pointed out our back tyre had probably about a 40 mil gash in it.
Oh, wow.
From the sidewall right around to the tread.
Yeah.
But I wasn't too concerned. I was saying, it is what it is.
How would you have done that?
I think someone slashed our tyre. Definitely a whole conspiracy to it. That's right. Yeah, we were a threat. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, you know. Threat to mankind, maybe. But no, I think just on a rock.
Yeah.
Just cut it on a rock somewhere. Pretty obvious sort of sidewall cut that extended around to the tread, but yeah, spitting out mostly. But I run a tube, an inner tube cut open. I sleeve that over the moose tube, and that, as we'll talk about, saved the day later on. So yeah, we were lucky with that. But anyway, I went, no, it'll last as long as it lasts, so be it. We got to, then our next bit of action was the section after that, and that was where we slid off the rock.
Yeah.
Right, at the spectator section there.
So did you guys do any damage or?
No.
You guys were all good?
Yep, all good.
Yeah.
And if you recall that section, you went, after that bit of technicality you start, you had to stretch down the side of the paddock, down the fence line, and then you went into the into the vineyard, down the vineyard.
Yeah.
And after that, you went into a little bit of a creek for a short bit, and there was a chair high left-hander to exit out that creek. And as we turned into the vineyard, we could see lights flickering around up in front of us, and you could hear a bike revving considerably.
Oh.
And Stiff just went, "They're stuck. There's action up ahead," or something. He called out. He goes, "Go, go, go." And so I sort of blasted into it, went into that little creek, just that short little section of creek. And there was Wally and Buckley stuck trying to get out this dirty, great big rut up that left hand, wedged right in the rut. And so we passed them going up there. We took a tight line and somehow managed, Mitchy Tracker somehow managed to, it was one of 2 times that the tyre gripped during the event. And that was one of them. And we got up and missed that rut and got out, not a problem. And so we passed them there. But then they got up behind us then, and we let them go round, let them have a clean run and let them go round, and followed them in. So they sort of dropped a minute in that one. And that's where we started to notice that, a clean ride is going to be key.
Yeah.
Right. There is going to be so much potential that was the reinforcing point to know that there's going to be so much potential for problems to occur here.
Yeah, well,
unexpected problems.
If experts are getting stuck,
that's right.
then
so
you know that anything can happen.
And from there, it just got worse.
Yeah.
So then we get further around the next lap and we get through section 10. which was the big uphill one that you were talking about before. We get through that, and going down the road, all of a sudden we come around a corner and there's Brad and Brad bogged on the road.
Yeah, wow.
Their wheel was just clagged up with mud.
Yeah.
And
that happened to
a fleet of people.
Declan and is it Marcus Coppin?
Yeah.
They were stuck there and had to take their wheel off and get all the stuff out.
So Brad was they had the chair up, they were de-cheesing the sidecar wheel when we went past, and I said to Stiff, "Don't stop, we're not stopping, we can't,
If
you couldn't afford to
you're
stop."
going to be stuck too.
And as it turned out, Hutchies, doing the right thing, stopped behind us. So we're the bad Samaritans out of this. They're the good Samaritans. And they've stopped. What happened? Clagged their wheels up. So all of a sudden there's 2 bikes stuck there.
Oh, no.
All right. Mark Launer comes along, another good Samaritan. What happens? Stuck. So all of a sudden there's 3 expert guys have been bogged on this road.
Yeah, wow.
And at the end of it, I said, "Well, yeah, sorry, it paid to be arrogant shit this time, sorry."
Well,
a bad Samaritan, paid to be a bad Samaritan. So, it was, she was certainly pretty grimy
Were
down
they
those
there
roads.
for long enough that they missed their minute? Or
Oh,
were
yeah,
they?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we went out of the next section, they weren't in yet.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So they bike 1 and we bike 4,
Yeah.
and we hadn't seen them yet. I think they ended up dropping about 10 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they dropped was it that much? Anyway, a lot of time anyway.
Yeah.
So,
you'd be bloody spewing.
yeah, that's right.
You're not even in a section.
No. But this is, once again, this is where the wet levels the playing field.
Yep.
This is what I love about the wet,
Yep.
is that all of a sudden guys up the front can have the most unexpected problems.
Yeah.
If you're a clubby and you're willing to put in the hard yards and just chip away at it, there's a bloody good end result in sight for you, really.
Has a clubby ever come up and just won the 24?
I don't know.
That's a random. I wonder.
I'm not sure.
Like out of the blue like that. Like
I'm not sure.
Yeah. That's something. Could find that out actually.
I guess it'd probably be a bit hard to dictate that in the early days when they didn't really have the classes as such. But so that's when things really started to reinforce that. And then they obviously pulled the last section.
So was that pulled on the second lap, was it?
For the second lap already, they pulled that one.
Yeah, because we didn't quite make it that far.
Yeah. That meant then that we got back to main control about 40 minutes early because we didn't have to do a huge big lap of off to the side.
Yeah.
So we got back. We were then getting back to main control very early. So which gave us an extra basically an extra 20 minutes to R&R back at main control, an extra half an hour or something.
Like annoying though?
Not for my sleeping habit, no. I actually went and found a big sheet of cardboard and laid it out on the concrete in a dark corner and went and had a sleep. But no, it was good in the fact that it gave you plenty of time to dry your kit out.
Yeah.
So that was actually good this year.
Yeah.
Probably one of the rare occasions I'd say it was a pleasant break.
Yeah.
So, and then lap 3, the action just kept going.
Yeah.
Because by this stage you were out, correct?
No, lap 2 we started. I think we got to section 8. So, well, when we started to get more of a groove. We were cruising around. It felt faster. It felt like we were flowing a bit more. I think getting used to the bike a bit more. But like we were riding with bent handlebars. The light was looking up into the trees. Like we were possum hunting because we weren't looking at the road with the light.
And how many did you find?
I don't know. None.
Oh, come on.
None.
Wow. That was a wasted effort.
And then
koalas.
Yeah, we ended up taking the bloody bark buster off because it was just hanging.
Yep.
There was no point. It wasn't doing anything, just annoying us. The bike was still running a bit.
It was
weird.
A busted bark.
Yes.
That's what it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it did its job, and that was it. But yeah, some of the parts of the track felt better, and then some of them were just way worse. Like it was like, oh man, like this is just so like just munted. But yeah, we got stuck a few times in a few bog holes. We got bogged on like a boggy corner, and then Lacey and Ethan came around behind us and they couldn't get through, so they hopped off and then they had to lift us out because we couldn't get out, and then we ended up like where we sort of drove was like down in a hole, and then we had to get back out of the hole where we'd driven into, and so it was a bit of a mission like that. But yeah, we had a couple of little tip overs, and then we just got to like a bit of a muddy creek section in section 8, I reckon it was, and we sort of just come in there a bit slow, and the bike stalled, and then we were sort of stuck on a weird angle, like bogged in some mud in there, and bike just wouldn't start. We just kept trying to start it. It was sort of on a bit of a weird angle to be able to kick start it. We actually sat there for like an hour.
That's electric start though.
Yeah. So he was like
ran the battery flat.
Yeah, pretty much. And then where it was, we couldn't really move it at all. Like we couldn't budge it. It was sucked into the mud. And then we were there for like an hour and a half before someone came. So it was freezing cold and we were wet, and it was just like, fuck. Then we like had the seat off, had the bloody tank off. We're like under there. I think Jason changed the spark plug and just done a few things trying to see if we could get it to go. But
trying to perform miracles.
Yeah, we drained the car because we thought it might have been flooded from, it was just.
Imagine if you could have turned water into wine. You would have been blotto out there, wouldn't you?
It was so cold, and then we ended up.
You would have turned it into Portland.
Well, I was actually clearing the track because all the solos were coming through, and we were right in the middle of the track.
Yeah.
So I was having to like direct them around us. So then
we got to get your little traffic triangles out like a truck and direct them around you.
Well, we're pretty much like in the dark in the bottom of the creek, so we're lucky that we didn't actually get hit by anyone.
Yeah.
But and then I was like, I was so freezing, so I just started like picking up rocks and throwing them off the track and clearing the way for the bikes to. I was like, I'll just move all these and I'll make it easier for them. Yeah, because I was like, I'm so cold, I need to move around and do something. But then we ended up getting a bike pickup came. So Scott Richardson, is it?
Yep.
Him.
Cross control. Yep.
Tony and Amanda.
Oh yeah. T-Bone.
Yeah, and I think there was another young lad with them, but it took about. Well, I think there was about 4 or 5 of us to push the bike, get it out of the actual creek.
Yeah, right.
And then
Scott, but T-Bone.
Yeah.
Oh mate, have you seen the puny muscles on that thing? Hey.
And then once we got it up to the top, Scott like kick-started it.
Yeah.
Because I think he's had one like that before. I think.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, that's what that's what he was riding. Yeah.
But he done a big jump on it. Yep, he got it started. He just revered it like. And then we went to follow them out of the paddock to like the. Where the bike pickup could get us. And then the bike was stalling again. And then Scott's like, oh, let me ride. And then he jumped on and then ended up, we were just banging across this paddock like flat out. I was like, holy crap, this is the fastest I've been the whole bloody time I've been on here. I was like, whoa. And, and then.
Getting his fix.
Yeah, he was. And we were just like flying through the paddock, like over the hill and just not even on the track at all, just like random. I was thinking, I hope he knows where he's going.
Yeah.
And sort of blew some of the bloody cobwebs out of the bike, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. No,
but,
but by then you're timed out.
Yeah, but we were timed out.
So you got a 60-minute. For those that are unaware, you've got a 60-minute late time. You can go 60 minutes past your scheduled time.
Yeah.
Once you're later than 60 minutes, you're out.
Yeah, well, we were already about 20 minutes behind just from all the other stuff. But
you can recover time.
Stuff. Yeah.
So you can recover time and creep your way back up, which is a bit different to enduros.
Yeah.
But you can't drop further than 60 minutes off your due time.
But after sitting in the creek for like an hour and
which
a half,
seems like plenty, but when you have strife, 60 minutes doesn't take long.
Well, you only have to get bogged like, so many times where there's 10 minutes, there's 10 minutes.
Correct.
Like it does. And
Absolutely.
over 24 hours, it doesn't.
No, that's right. Exactly.
Yeah. So, we sort of got bike pickup and then, headed back to the main control. And then I was, even though we were like Devo, because like we would have just kept plugging along, even though, the bike wasn't going that great. We had bent handlebars and stuff. We sort of just plugging along.
That doesn't necessarily mean a bad result in a year like that.
No, and that's the thing. Like we were doing all right. Like that second lap, we were sort of just hanging in there. Like, once we were timed out, that was it. We couldn't really do anything. But I was glad just to get back and get warm. I was like, oh my God, get these friggin' wet clothes off me, my feet. They're like so cold.
Shriveled up prone feet. Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, then it's like, what should we do? Should we go back to the hotel room? And then I was like, nah. Mum's like, do you want to go have a shower or whatever? I was like, nah, I just want to put all my warm clothes on and then let's go out to the next fuel dump and like see everyone. So we just ended up going out to the spectator section and watch everyone come in there for the
Third lap.
Yeah, third lap.
Yep. And yeah,
Yeah.
third lap, that's when all the fun really started for us up the front. Because yeah, straight into section one, we halfway through, we come across this bike in front of us that was wedged well and truly in the mud. Back wheel was not to be seen, and the back guard was just sticking out the top, and that was
Oh, no.
Buckley and Wally had dropped it in a rut, an absolute cracker. So yeah, that's when once again all that pace that they were holding just unfortunately disappeared real quickly into the mud, and the black stinking mud at that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we managed to get around them, which sounded like we were a bit lucky in us. Once again, bad Samaritan crash. I mean, I've got to set the level straight here. Yes, I do feel bad about going around in a situation like that. However, we are competing people, and so therefore, all of a sudden, when you've got a bike like that stuck in front of you, and you know the hassles other people are having, I sense a podium instantly. So sorry, I'm not going to sacrifice a race for someone else's misfortune. That's competition.
Well, they're
so,
fine. As
so
long as they're not hurt.
they're not hurt. That's
then
exactly right.
That's what
We
I
assess
always
that.
do. You
Yep,
look,
correct.
you think, no, they're all right. They're up. They're doing stuff. Well,
But little goody two shoes behind us, the two Hutchie boys, obviously having a bit of a bad run with no rear brake and just easing it through, did their good Samaritan thing and helped them get out. So, yeah, it's a bad crash, good Hutchies apparently. So yeah, they got them out. But we got to the next section. Of course, everyone's eyes just lit up when we come in, and Buckley's not present. And then we went on to tell the story about what happened, because at this stage we hadn't told anyone that they got stuck on lap 2.
ah, okay.
Right? We didn't say anything about that. We just let nature play its course, and we said nothing. But once this happened, well, we couldn't really hide this fact. So yeah, all of a sudden the storybook's open, and we inform everyone what's going down. Well, straight away you could see Dan and Brad's eyes just light up. They went, wicked, here's our chance. Because look, up until then, Buckley was riding in a league of his own, really. He was riding brilliantly.
Yeah.
Right. But once again, like I've said, that pace doesn't necessarily mean anything when you get stuck in a couple of holes and stuff like that. So to finish first you must finish.
Yeah.
And as I remember a story about David Holt, obviously a very good South Australian rider on solos years ago that competed internationally and all the rest. And he had a German guy come up to him once at the 6th day and say, "You're a very good rider, but you go a little slower and you'll go much, much faster."
Yeah.
And I see a little bit of that in Buckley and Wally at the moment. If they just took that little bit, knocked that second or two off, which seems like bugger all, but under race conditions, that gives you a bloody good look at times at some tricky lines, and can save you a possible 2, 3, 4 minute bog. Right? And it's things like that I guess experience teaches you. I'm not going to point the finger at them riding bad, because I've ridden their style plenty of time over the years. With great risk comes great reward, but you can also go the other way. So if they can pull it off, they're gonna have some bloody good wins on their hands. But yeah, it is a high risk game. So they were stuck. So that lit up Plowie and Brad's eyes, and you could see instantly at that point in time, it's like a toggle switch flicked in their heads, and they were on. And it was bloody awesome to watch.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. And then, of course, Buckley then caught up to us leading into the second section. Sorry, that was first section. They got bogged. So they had a fair bit of a wait time there. So they made up their due time again on the road, as you're allowed to do. And so they started in front of us again, and they went ripping off into that section. Obviously, it seemed like they had a bit of frustration on their mind now, and we've got to make up some lost ground. Halfway through section 2, come round the corner.
Oh, no. And bogged again.
And there's the back wheel missing again.
Oh.
She's bogged again.
Bloody hell.
and
oh, they would have been so frustrated.
So this is where the real Slim Shaney came out and went round the outside, and bypass past. Right, bad Samaritan crash on his way, right, on his trusty ass. And Good Samaritan Hutchies come along and help them dig out again. So a bit of a common story coming up here. Yeah. And so, yeah, all of a sudden they've dropped like whatever it was, another couple of minutes, or it must have been a couple of minutes for Hutchies to catch them, plus whatever time from there. So they've lost another 2 to 3 minutes again in there. So all of a sudden, this time you can see from the first 2 laps is now getting evaporated really, really quickly, and which has just opened up for Brad and Plowie to soldier on. Now, Brad obviously is now can see that, hey, I've got some potential to make up some lost ground here after being bogged on the road in lap 2. So I can make up some lost ground here, and he'd leapfrogged on. Well, we'd both leapfrogged on Buckley at that stage.
Why you don't let those friggin', when you do have that bad luck in those earlier things, don't let it get to you because you just don't know.
Correct. Exactly.
People go, oh, we got bogged there. We got no chance.
Yeah,
now,
no chance. Back off. No. Keep going.
Yeah.
So, so that's when that happened. And then we get to section 3. Section 4. And we found out we didn't come across it, but I had suspicions that something had gone wrong, just with where the lights and stuff were flashing around the hills. Now our matching positions through the hills of section 4, I had just something didn't seem quite right, and it turned out that then Buckley and Wally had slid off the outside of a corner and put it into a fence and dropped another half a minute.
Oh,
right?
Hell.
So here's all of a sudden, and now this is where frustration's taking over, right? So now you're almost in a point where nature's playing with your head now, like it's having its way with you. Nature's having a blast teasing you, and it's having a field day, annoying the shit out of them. And this time that they've made up in the first 2 laps is just disappearing, section by section, unfortunately for them. So anyway, we keep doing our thing, plodding away, as we did. And the rest of lap 3 then went pretty much straightforward. They pulled another section. So section 10 then was pulled, mainly because of those roads you couldn't get.
So they were pulled out because
section 10 was pulled out
because of the
mostly
roads.
Because of the roads. Because if anything went wrong in there, and sidecars run a higher risk of having a fault in those sections and stuff like that, they can't get like our emergency services
if you can't
and stuff
even
in.
ride your bike in there, you definitely can't drive an ambulance.
That's right, exactly. So it became a safety concern, so that got pulled out.
So was that pulled for both solo and sidecar?
No.
Okay.
Just sidecars at that stage.
Yeah.
From memory, I don't think solos were pulled from it.
Yeah.
But I stand to be corrected if need be. So rest of lap 3 then sort of proceeded as it did. We had a great little stand around the campfire at section 11 because we were there very early then because we skipped section 10. And that was just one of those times where the old sidecar camaraderie came out. There was probably by that stage 10 or 12 of us sidecars all parked there waiting early.
Yeah.
Because we were like 20 minutes early to that control. And we were all just standing around huddled around this little campfire, and it was in a calm section of the tracks. There was bugger all wind.
Yeah.
And we were having a great little campfire chat there. If we had marshmallows and an esky, we would have been set for the night. It would have been DNF for the whole field. But it was just one of those awesome moments where the camaraderie of sidecars just comes out.
Well, there wouldn't
and the
have
storytelling
been many left by then, would it?
And the sledging. We probably would have been not far off of that finishing rate. We would have probably only had 17 or 18 sidecars going by then, because not many DNF'd the last lap.
Yeah, I think there was about.
So there would have been 2. Beckman dropped out during, so there would have still been 2 more in at that stage by the looks of it. Ethan and Buckley were still in. They dropped out on lap 4 or the end of lap 3. So by the looks of the stats in front of me. So so just one of those great moments outside of racing where the sidecar communities just all comes together. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So we get in early for breakfast, plenty of time to dry off again and enjoy some breakfast.
How are you guys feeling by then?
Lap 2 and 3, I was really bad actually. I had massive heartburn.
Oh, really?
Massive heartburn. I've never had it before, but I think it come down to having some of those glucose packs and not having enough food with it.
Yeah.
And, mate, I was having to slow down in sections because I was getting such bad reflux hiccups.
Yeah.
And I couldn't breathe properly. So I was having to back off.
Yeah.
It was shocking. I've never experienced that before and it was not fun.
That's what it's like when you're pregnant.
Is it?
Yeah, it's really crap.
Okay.
You can't even sleep. You gotta
So
sleep
what's it?
sitting up.
July.
So, are
So
you
I've still
pregnant?
got maybe 7 months to go. I'm not showing yet, so it's obviously early. Yeah, right. Okay. Well, lucky I can't get pregnant unless I choose to. But anyway, that's another story for today's society. Um, anyway, so yeah, lap 4 then. Everyone goes out. By this stage, Buckley started to make up some time again. He's overtaken us back into third. Once again, we weren't going to battle for it because we had a comfortable pace going. We hadn't made any more mistakes at this stage. We were happy. Then lap 4, it was on again because by this stage, Plowey's sort of pretty comfortable with his position out the front, wanting to solidify it. Brad and Brad were then protecting position 2 because obviously Buckley was on the chase to get back to as high as he could, and he'd passed us back into third. And then that's when things took an interesting turn because we were at the start of section 1 on the last lap, and we're standing there by the fire just waiting for a couple of minutes to our times to rock up and the bikes start taking off, Brad and then Plowy. And then Buckley started up, and I was standing by the fire alongside Sam Hutchie, and Sam goes, we both sort of paused and looked at the bike, and Sam goes, does that bike sound a little bit more rattly to you than what it has? And I said, yeah, I just noticed that as well. And we listened to it take off, and it sounded a bit more than the normal clutch basket rattle. And off it went. And anyway, it wasn't sounding bad under power or anything like that. Yeah, get to section 2, and it sort of sounded a bit the same again. And yeah, get through section 2, and then we're pulling into section 3. So we've gone through 2, down the road again, pulling into section 3, and we noticed from a distance that their bike was just parked off to the side. We come in and they just waving their hands in front of us type of thing, like slicing their hands.
They'd noticed
She's
it.
out. Yeah. It's ended up at Chatter Big End.
Yeah.
So they were out.
Yeah.
So once again, there's
all
that
on
effort.
They were
on the last lap. Yeah.
And all of that drama that
we
they
feel
had.
their pain.
Yeah.
We feel their pain. Yeah. Been there a couple of times.
Yeah.
So, but once again, community gets around, pats on the back. Well done, boys. Back next year, give it a crack. Your turn will come. So, disappointing for them, but at the same time, it shows that sidecar community. Everyone gives them a pat on the back and shakes their hands and all the rest. So,
and it's amazing how quick all those stories get around because, we were going around following, going to the spectator sections and fuel dumps and stuff like that, and everyone was talking about it. And,
well, that's right. It's big news. People are watching it on live timing,
and you hear all the stories. You get there and they're like, "Oh, we're is such and such still in? Oh, no, they did it. Yeah. They did this, and they've been bogged, and those ones were bogged, and that one's out now." Yeah, and you just you hear all the goss.
Absolutely. And so then from there, really, we sort of looked at it and went, let's not, our view was, we got nothing. We went into that section and I just said to Steph, right, let's just maintain was what I kept calling out. Because
did you know where yous were?
We knew that we were comfortably then in third.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I wasn't watching the results, but you know how the system works. Yeah. We knew that Benny and Bert had their problems. We knew that Mark was just plodding away doing his thing. We knew Hutchies were having dramas. So we knew those guys. We didn't really know their position behind us.
They were stopping and helping all the time, weren't they?
Well, yeah, there you go. The good Samaritans. Yeah. Anyway, and look where it got them. Yeah, right, 5th. Yeah, anyway. Well done to them. But yeah, that by that stage we knew that we were pretty comfortable, but I didn't want to back off because I didn't know how much our gap would be back to Benny and Bert.
Yeah.
Right. So I went, I'm not just going to slack off because sometimes I've found that if you back off and try and ride more careful, you make more mistakes. Yeah. Just ride what feels comfortable and fun.
Yeah.
And just let it happen.
Yeah.
Right. And you'll tend to find that you won't make the mistakes of going too fast or too slow.
Yeah.
So we did that.
Well, you don't want Brett to get in front of you because you'll never hear the end of it.
Spot on. Right. There's family pride here. Exactly. So it's bad enough seeing his finishing medallion for the 100th 24 hanging in the bar in front of me every time I walk in and mine missing even though I had to design them. Anyway, but so then from there it was sort of a case of everything maintained itself then for the last lap. It was a blast actually. It was almost like a glorified trail ride for the rest of the lap.
Victory
just
lap.
everyone was in a comfortable position. So, for instance, for Brad and Brad to have tried and made up a win on Plowie from where they were, they would have had to have ride ridiculously stupid,
Yeah.
which would have almost bar guaranteed them of making a mistake
Yeah.
and losing
Could cost
second
them.
spot,
Yeah.
right? So everyone realised that their positions were pretty solidified as long as they maintained what they
Yeah.
had. So it became a very structured race almost from there on, and any battles were really in those trying to get into that top 5
Yeah.
was really where any battles were going to take place. But yeah, and then at the end, they, because we didn't do the last section and we had all that extra time up our sleeve, we were going to get in very early. So what they ended up doing was sending us around reverse track or reverse transport to go to the very last control point to get a safety check done and make sure all our lights and brakes and everything like that work, that we're sort of semi-legal as such, and everything's working, because that's all penalty points if things aren't working. And we did that, and then they held us there for probably 10, 15 minutes and judge a time. And then we had, once again, good chats, good pats on the back, sort of all the our base celebration started there already for Plowie. From there, they let us off one by one in our proper order, our race order, back to main control for the official finish. So, and yeah, it was good. Like, yeah, congrats there to Dan Plowman on the win. I mean, the bad luck of stuff he's had in the 24 over the last handful of years is just ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so to finally see him have a clean run and get, I guess, a true result in the event was bloody fantastic to see. So, and like we've said, commiserations to Sean and James, but they certainly kept the fight up as long as they could. And then from there, anyone that finished, there's certainly some good outcomes there, with the likes of Russell Bailey being the highest clubby there, making 7th. That was nothing to be shun about. Owen Richards in the Masters class, he's there in 8th. They had a really good run on that new VMC that he built up this year. Yeah, Sam Wegner and Henry Greats finally had a run where they didn't have to work on the bike.
Yeah.
Henry was quite excited by that. He said it's quite different finishing a race without having to really work on the bike.
Yeah.
And probably one of the big standouts is Matthew and Alistair Vogt. That's a father-son team.
Yeah.
That's their first 24, and they've only bought the bike one or two events ago.
Yeah.
Like, they're very, very new to it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, great result for them at the end of it. So, and then Christy and Ayla, they're rounding out the 15 with their magnitude of problems. But once again, they're there at the finish line.
Yeah,
so
they were really struggling there for a bit, I think.
Absolutely. So
it was funny though at the dinner when Christy was like, you know, oh, I don't want to pull the pin or whatever, and Ayla's like, not on my watch, bitch.
And Hutchies were the same. They were talking at tea time after losing their rear brake, that they were debating. Max was in a bit of a glum about it, and they were a bit upset that they obviously couldn't ride the pace they wanted to, and they had tea, and then they were sitting there, and Sam looks across at Max and says, well, what do you want to do? And Max goes, what I really want to do is probably just pull the pin and while I still feel fit and able, and just head out and watch. He's going, but I think it's going to hurt more with all the shit that I'm going to cop from everyone for pulling out and being a softie. So yeah, good on him for persisting, and I'm sure Sean and James were quite happy that you persisted there as the good Samaritans of the evening. So, and Mark Ilana there slotting into 5th. Once again, just tractoring his way through and doing his thing and makes the top 5. So, some good outcomes there.
Yeah. And there was quite a few DNFs. So what did we end up with? I think there was 14 or something DNFs, I think. I think
16, I think it was 16 DNFs, 15 finishes, and there was one that didn't start.
Yeah.
So I think that's what the total was in the end. So, yeah. So, but...
so I think, like Eloise, I think Brett hurt his back, so that's why they were out.
That's right. Grabbo, Clint and Wayne took a wrong turn on the road and ended up AWOL.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I know Dan Zaghi did his rear wheel hub.
Ethan and Lacey had something to do with their radiator. I think they broke something
Oh,
earlier on, and
yes.
then they got
cooked it or something,
yeah,
didn't
they
they?
got all the way through, but then something was happening with that.
Yeah, Sean, Blenkiron, Nathan Zagi, they had they drowned the bike in the water crossing. So yeah, there's numerous.
Adam Buckley. Oh, Jamie clotheslined himself and was like
On a
had
cloud.
concussion.
Clotheslined himself on a cloud.
On the
Because
bloody.
that's where he is, the
Yeah, I
height of
know.
it. Bloody hell.
I think he didn't duck and got wiped out by a
By a
train.
cloud.
And he was like concussed. So
Josh and Matt Schutz, I'm trying to think what happened to them now. Theirs was a bit of an unfortunate one as well. But I can't remember exactly what the problem was. But yeah, so a wide variety of.
Tony, he blew a clutch, I think. They only just put a new one in.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So he was on with his daughter. They've been training all year because
Coddy, and Tamarin, yeah.
So they he's done it with his wife, his son,
and now was going to do it with his daughter.
Yeah, and so they've been looking forward to it. So it's a pity the bike.
Yeah, too right.
Bike didn't play nice.
But yeah, so magnitude of dramas there. But congrats to I guess all the finishers and on what was an awesome fun event. And yeah, back to you under next year.
Yeah. So no, it was good. It was
again.
good, but it's like what do you call it? Secondhand fun. At the time, you're like, "This sucks. This is so crap," and then after you're like, "Oh, this is awesome. I'm going to do it again." Like, what the hell?
Yeah. So. No, but like I said, it's great to see Dan finally get the King's Crown, and yeah, it's and Bradley Brook. So as passenger, so he's got one up on his brother there. So yeah, there'll be a Shane Beckman's getting an ever growing need to win a second event for Adam's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, we'll keep the pressure on him.
Not cool.
So
it was a good. What do you call it? A field of experts as well to be able to win that through as well.
Yeah. Well, that's right. Like we said there before, 12 expert riders. So out of the 32. So yeah, it keeps you honest. Yeah, absolutely.
Ah, cool. All right. Well, yeah, I guess that's a bit of a wrap of the 24. I don't know. Did you see anything else out there? It was pretty quiet. I thought it was quiet this year.
Yeah, it was actually. It was very quiet from a camping point of view. I think weather just
Yeah.
naturally played its part there. There wasn't near as many people camping on the roadsides and stuff like that. The traffic during the night was certainly a lot lighter. Let's face it, it's not the most enjoyable viewing
It was
conditions.
freezing. And
so-
I think like the spectator spots were good, but it was just cold.
Yeah.
Like it was freezing.
Yeah.
But there was some
That's because of the
diehards out there.
temperature.
When we were out there in the you're a bloody comedian. When we were out there in the middle of the night though, there was still some diehards out there like, getting
absolutely.
around, even a few kids.
Yeah.
Like what the hell?
Yeah.
Didn't expect to see these kids out here.
That's
But
it.
yeah, no, it was good. All right. Well, let's
Cool.
wrap it up and hope
sure.
everyone enjoyed that rundown and we're looking forward to next year.
That's it.
See how we go.
For sure.
Crash might not be in the unprepared club next
That's
time.
right. Yeah, we'll see what happens from here.
Aren't you doing the Welsh?
The plan is to go back
Yep.
and race the Welsh next year. Yep.
So, and that's
then
usually about the same time, isn't it?
it's beforehand.
Yeah.
So we'll go do that, then come back. But my bike might be getting used for those guys. So I might be sidelined next year in the viewing status. So to be decided shortly. We've got to get it all together and start the planning.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, thank you for coming and jumping on.
No worries. Great to do it again.
Yep. No, cool. All right. Cheers. I just want to give a shout out to the Sidecar Spin sponsors. The Dohse Family, Manuel MotoSports, Modern Air, Diesel Performance Solutions SA and Clare Valley Speckle Park Beef. Please go and jump on Facebook and give these guys a like and make sure you pop in and support the businesses that support sidecars. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Sidecar Spin and a massive thanks to Crash for jumping on and giving his rundown of the 24-hour trial. It's such a cool event and it's always awesome to hear the stories that come out of it. And so if you haven't seen it or experienced it, definitely get out there next year and either join in the fun or become a spectator. So, thanks, guys. Thanks for the support. Cheers.